Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Today's video is going to be a super big birthday book haul. So I'm really enthusiastic and excited about this video because I usually don't get books for my birthday. My parents and friends never know which ones to buy me, but I recently made an Amazon wish list, sent that to them because they kept asking, what should we get you, what should we get you? So I sent that out and got a ton of books. So I think I have 23 books to haul. Almost all of them were purchased for me. I think a couple of them I bought for myself, but let's jump right into it. Alright, so first off, we have the Stalking Jack the Ripper series by Kerri Maniscalco. It's actually the second, third, and fourth book. I don't own the first, and my friend couldn't find the first one, so I'll just have to go out and find that somewhere. But I have read these and loved them so much. She's actually the one that recommended them to me, so she was really happy when I loved them and wanted me to own them, and we're thinking about doing a buddy read of them again in the near future. So these books are all historical retellings featuring a true historical murderer or a true historical figure, I guess. Audrey Rose and Thomas Cresswell are investigating the murders. The first one follows Jack the Ripper. They're trying to figure out that case. This one is Vlad the Impaler, a Houdini one, and then the final one is the Chicago World's Fair, Devil in the White City. So those murders, and I just love them all so much. I think these are the ones that really got me into historical fiction and historical retellings because they're just a lot of fun. I enjoy seeing a lot of the true facts that did actually occur mixed in with the fictional bits. So these are a ton of fun. I definitely would recommend these to anybody trying to get into historical fiction because they are a blast. Next up is Heart of Flames by Nikki Powell Pareto. This is the second book in the Crown of Feathers series, and it's a lot bigger than I expected. This book is almost double the size of the first one, but sounds fun. A goal for the year was big book, so I guess here we go. This book follows a young girl who is a Phoenix Rider, and she is descendant from Phoenix Riders, but they're kind of all gone. There are no more Phoenixes that anybody knows of. Her and her sister go out looking for an egg. They find one. When it hatches, it chooses her, and so she is now a Phoenix Rider, and a lot of stuff goes down because they have to keep it quiet. There's a lot of mystery about her and her family, and she goes and finds other Phoenix Riders in hiding and begins to train with them. She has to go undercover as a boy to be allowed to train. So that's kind of the gist of the first book. I have no idea where the second book is about to go, but it's definitely interesting. The whole Phoenix Rider thing is definitely for me. I love mythological creatures, so this is definitely one I'm really happy to have got. So these books didn't really have a particular order, but I guess I'm kind of following a theme. I'm showing you all of the sequels I'm receiving. So next up we have Kingdom of Flesh and Fire and The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. These are the second and third book in the Blood and Ash series. I don't even know. I think there's going to be 6 books, but I have now the second and third because I did own the first. Super excited to have these because I'm super excited to read these. They are so big, but I've heard so many good things. And this series follows Poppy, who is the maiden of her kingdom. Basically, she is been training for it her whole life. No one's allowed to look at her or touch her, and when she reaches maturity, I guess she's I don't actually know if she's sacrificed or something, but she's got to be 100% pure. Nobody's allowed to look at her, all this stuff. But then she's kind of thinking that that's not her destiny, that maybe she's not supposed to be this maiden, and maybe she wants to make her own choices. And when she meets Hawk, who is a soldier, they kind of turn destiny around, maybe? I don't know. They just kind of defy fate, because I'm pretty sure she's not feeling that maidenhood anymore. Definitely excited for these. Can't wait to get to these chunky boys. But I'm also nervous because I hear they all end on cliffhangers, and if there's going to be 6 books, I might need to wait, but I don't know. I don't really want to wait because they sound so good. Next up is Chosen by Kiersten White. This is the second book in the Slayer series. I don't actually know how many books are going to be in that one either, but this is a Buffy the Vampire World type series, and it follows a young woman who is a vampire hunter. So that's kind of the whole gist of the series. This is the second book. I own the first, but I haven't read it yet. And I don't know, it just sounded really interesting. I've never actually seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but I've heard a lot of stuff about it, and I like vampires, so it definitely piqued my interest. Next is a book I'm still so shocked that I have, that I'm so excited about, and that is Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. This is the second book in the Strange the Dreamer duology, which I read a couple years ago and fell in love with. This is actually the cover that I told my friend, I was like, I just love these covers so much, but they're really hard to find, and she found the second one, didn't find the first, but that's okay, I'll keep looking. So it's just so pretty, and I'm so excited to own this. This duology follows Laszlo Strange, and he is like an orphan who has all these memories and remembers all this stuff of a place called Weep, but one day it is wiped from everyone's mind. Everyone forgets the name of this place except for him. So he becomes kind of like a really knowledgeable person about this place, Weep. He does all the research he possibly can, and when people from Weep come one day and they're like, we need help, we need some scholars, alchemists, come and help us reclaim our city and reclaim our place in the world, he goes and kind of fulfills a lifelong dream of his. So Laszlo gets there, there are gods up in the sky, there's a big thing in the sky covering all of Weep, and he is trying to figure out the mystery behind it. Why did everyone forget about it? What is causing the thing in the sky? Who are these people up there? And it definitely has a cute little romance, it has a great story, and it's just so well written. I love these, and I'm really happy to finally have at least one of the books. And the last sequel on this list is Namesake by Adrienne Young. This is the second book in the Fable duology. I've read this author before and really enjoyed her, so I'm excited to get to this series. This follows a young woman who only wants to grow up and be basically queen of all the pirates, queen of the seas. Her father is a pirate, and when he one day strands her on an island with a bunch of wild men, she is now set on revenge. She wants to save herself, get off this island, go find her father, and basically get revenge and become queen of the seas, which is like her overall goal. So this sounds super exciting to me, and I still haven't read the first one, but now that I have both, nothing's holding me back, right? Alright, now jumping into all of the standalones and first books in the series, we're going to start with the book that I'm probably maybe most excited for, and that is Kingdom of the Wicked by Kerri Maniscalco. This follows a young woman in Italy, I believe, and she is a witch. Her twin sister gets murdered, and so she is going to do everything she can to find out who murdered her, why, and seek her revenge. She has the help of a prince of hell named Wrath, and it just sounds so good to me. The fan art, if you've seen any of it, is really what drug me in the most. It's definitely spicy, I've heard, and I absolutely can't wait to read this because it sounds like everything I love in a book. I am not even halfway through these books, and I am so scared this video is going to be a million years long. Next up we have Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This is one of the books I actually got for myself. I got it out of the Book of the Month box. They sent me a little voucher or whatever to get one for I think like $5, and I was like, can't pass up this opportunity, so I jumped on this. This follows a young girl who recently lost her mother and is kind of trying to separate herself from her family and from her past. And when she gets into this like program to, I think, internship or something at a college, and she comes across someone being like killed by a demon, and she gets saved by some people, and they're called Legendborns, and that she might be a Legendborn. She's got like a lot going on in her life, and it just sounds overall really cool. I've heard a lot of people talking about this one, and I don't know, isn't this cover like so pretty? That drew me in as soon as I seen it. But I don't know a ton about this. I just know that it sounds like something I would enjoy, and as soon as I seen it on Book of the Month, I was like, yes, please. Next up is a book my friend randomly got me. It's not on my TBR, it's nothing I've ever heard of. She hadn't even heard of it, but I guess she thought it sounded good, so she sent it my way. That's The Edge of Never by J.A. Redmersky. Hope I'm saying that right. Terrible with names. This follows a young lady who is out partying one night when she just decides she's done with everything that her life has been, and she's gonna go start a new one. She literally just takes off, gets on a bus, heads out to somewhere else, and just starts over. I guess she meets a guy and he's helping her with the start over plan. That's really all I got from the back there. I haven't even looked on the Goodreads to see what it's about, but it sounds interesting. I'm sure it's probably got a lot of like spice and stuff. So, you know, I'll probably give it a try, but like I said, I have no idea anything about this one. So if you know anything about this one or you've read it and enjoyed it, definitely let me know below what your thoughts on it are, since I have no clue. Next is Of Curses and Kisses by Sandhya Menon, and this is, I think it's supposed to be a Romeo and Juliet retelling. So it follows a young girl and a young guy who are going to go to the same boarding school. Their families have a really big feud. Like, I actually think she's a princess, and her family feuds with another family, and like they're targeting each other. She's wanting revenge against them, and they end up at the same boarding school. And I don't know, I think there's going to be a lot of like Romeo and Juliet vibes, probably an enemies to lovers vibe as well. I don't know, this one just sounds really cute to me, and I am definitely excited for it. It wasn't even on my Goodreads. I think my friend saw it and was like, yes, that definitely sounds like something you would like, and I'm pretty sure I'd seen it somewhere before, so I'm really glad she got me this one. Next we have Burn by Patrick Ness. This is a dragon book set in the 1950s. It follows a young lady and her dad who are struggling farmers who were forced to hire a dragon shifter to work on their farm because they need help. And I guess in this book, dragons are kind of like a paid laborers. They hire this dragon shifter guy. He comes, he has this prophecy, and it actually involves her in some way. It's got like assassins, cults, and stuff, and she has no idea how she's involved, but she's gonna find out. This sounds pretty intriguing. It's a standalone, it's not super big, it's got dragons, and I don't know, I just feel like it could be really interesting. I saw the cover, saw the dragons on there, and put it right on my wish list. Up next we have The Princess Will Save You by Sarah Henning. This is a Princess Bride retelling. So a young lady who is the princess of her kingdom is now about to ascend the throne when her father dies, and a neighboring kingdom is like, hey, you can either marry our prince or we're going to kill you. And she's kind of like not feeling that at all. So to force her hand into making the decision they want her to make, they steal, or they kidnap, her best friend slash lover, the stable boy. And so instead of that forcing her hand, all that did was piss her off. So she's gonna take her bad bitch energy and go and save him herself. So sounds really cute. This cover, super neat. I like it. I've actually never seen Princess Bride, but I've heard a bunch about it. I might need to watch it and then read this because it's pretty popular, but it sounds super cool. I like the energy that it's putting off, so definitely something I'll pick up pretty soon. Okay, this next book, I have no idea what it's about. I'm going to try to tell you what very little I do know, and that is There Will Come a Darkness by Katie Rose Poole. I had this on my TBR for a long time, never got to it, and then kind of didn't feel like it was for me anymore and removed it. But by the time I removed it, my friend had already saw it, so she had already got it for me. But that's okay because I can put it back and I can give it a try. This is about like, it's a realm where there's prophets and they are kind of like the leaders of society, I guess. And I think they all die out, but they leave one more prophecy saying that a long time into the future, a new prophet would be born and they would like save the world or something. So there's 5 main characters, I believe, and I guess you're probably reading from all their perspectives, trying to figure out which one's like the new prophet. I got no idea. Sorry, I couldn't tell you more. That's really all I know. Next is The Boyfriend Project by Farah Rachin. This follows a woman who is on a date and it is not going as planned. I think there's some live tweeting that doesn't go very well in her favor. And she and her 2 friends decide that they are going to give up men and give up dating for 6 months. She wants to take this time to kind of find herself, do the things that she's always dreamed of doing, and one of those is creating an app. So as she's creating this app, she meets this guy Daniel, and I'm thinking that she's going to want to get with him pre the 6-month pact. I really don't know much else about this one. It's definitely like an adult romance, but I don't know what the overall like vibe is of it necessarily. I think it sounds cute, so I'm definitely going to give it a shot. Up next, we have A River of Royal Blood by Amanda Joy. This is a book about 2 sisters. One is 16 and one is 17. They are about to have to fight to the death. As princesses, only the strong in their kingdom are allowed to survive, so they have to kind of fight to see who's going to be the next leader, and it is a fight to the death. But they love each other, and they don't really want to fight each other, but they have to. That's like their whole culture. But like a week before the big fight, our main character is almost assassinated. Now she realizes there are more than just her sister wanting to kill her, and so I think she turns to the Fae for help. So it's definitely got magic. It's going to have like brutality, probably some morally great characters. just all the stuff that I love to see. I promise we're getting closer to the end. The next one we have is Invictus by Ryan Groudon. So this follows a child of two time travelers who just wants to be a time traveler himself, but when he fails the exam, he decides that he will just become a black market, like, time traveling captain. So he's going to go to the past and steal artifacts and do heists and then take them to other eras. So basically he's just going to, like, go to the dark side, and I'm here for it. But I think this is set on, like, the Titanic. They're going to do a heist on the Titanic, and he's got, like, this crew. So I don't know, this sounds super cute. I really like Ryan Groudon's writing, so I have high expectations for this one. Alright, we're down to the last 5 books. We've got The Trouble with Hitting You by Sajni Patel. This is a enemies to lovers type book, I think. Her parents really just want her to find a nice Desi boy and get married, and so they invite her to dinner like it's just going to be a normal family night, but then they set her up on blind dates, and so she definitely doesn't have a good first impression with this guy, seeing as how she is not very happy to be meeting him in the first place. But, you know, I think they get a connection, and there's going to be a little romance between them. So I think this one's really cute. I've actually picked this up from the library a couple times, but then never got around to reading it. So my friend was like, you know, let me buy it for you so you can actually read it whenever you feel like. Next up is a book by an author that I've wanted to read for a really long time, so I'm glad that I finally have this, and it is Skyward by Brandon Sanderson. I've never read a Brandon Sanderson book. I do own Mistborn, but I've not picked it up yet. This one in particular sounds really interesting. It is a sci-fi type book set in the future where pilots are kind of like the heroes that are left for the humans, and our main character really wants to be a pilot, but since her father was a pilot who was killed after deserting his squad, she doesn't really think she has a chance. Everyone looks down upon her because of what her father did, but she still really wants to be a hero. So that's the overall vibe of this one. I struggle with sci-fis, so that's why it's been a while for me to try and pick up Brandon Sanderson, but I don't know, this one definitely has piqued my interest, and I hear so many good things about this that I am glad I finally own it. Next we have The Tiger Queen by Annie Sullivan. This is set in a desert kingdom where the princess is going to have to fight for her right to rule. So I'm kind of sensing a theme in some of these books, because I think this is going to be like the 3rd or 4th book where a princess has to fight for her right to rule the kingdom, but she has to fight. There's a lot going on. She doesn't think she's going to win because of who her opponent is, so she turns to this like band of rebels to get some assistance, but they're also the rebels that have been terrorizing her kingdom for quite a while. So I think this is going to be interesting. I'm definitely excited for like the desert vibes. I haven't read a deserty book in a while, and it says down here, sand in her veins, blood on her sword, a kingdom in the balance. Sounds just like what I need right now. Okay. Second to last book for me to haul is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis. This is a book that I've actually tried to start once, but I had to take it back to the library and didn't get to finish it. And it follows a young woman who is learning magic. She has great potential for it, and she is learning from this guy, and he is like the head of this magician show, or of his group, I guess. She's learning from him, but she wants to go and make it big in the city where she's never been allowed to go before. He doesn't really want her to go, because I think that he has feelings for her, even though he's like really dark, mysterious, doesn't show it. But she's gonna go anyways, so that's gonna force him to go, to follow her. I think it's gonna have a cute romance, maybe not cute, like a spicy romance, I think. And it's gonna have the circus vibe, magic. I think this is going to be really cool, and for me, it's the cover. Yeah. The final book in this haul is actually one I bought myself. I think I got it a few days before my birthday. That book is Beautiful Disaster by Jamie McGuire. I'd actually read this a few years ago, so I got this to reread with my friend and my mom. We're doing like a little book club where we're probably going to read a book every month. This was the book we picked for May, so I went ahead and bought it real quick, and I have already read it. This book follows Abby, who is a freshman in college. She is escaping her hometown to get away from her past, and she meets bad boy Travis Maddox, who is a underground fighter, and he's got tattoos, doesn't do relationships, basically screws every single woman on campus, And she's like, no thanks, you're not for me, I don't do the bad boy thing. But he says that she is for him, so he pursues her endlessly. They become best friends, and that does lead into a romance. Like I said, I have read this. I did give it 5 stars the first time I read it when I was like 18. This time around I gave it 3 stars, but you know, I'm still happy to have it for like the nostalgia and for the fact that I read it with my mom and my best friend. I am so happy with all of these books. I am so thankful to everybody that bought me books, and I don't know, I'm looking at these stacks, they're huge. I have no idea where I'm going to put them, but I'm super excited, super happy, and super thankful. Thanks for watching this video. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope it's not too long. I guess we're going to find out during editing, but I am a little bit nervous. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel, leave a like or a comment, and I'll see you in my next one.